This is going to be a twin flame soulmate relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies between you and your person. In the comments, please let me know your zodiac signs and your word of the day, word of the week. What is your current vibe? I'm filming this on Friday morning, reflecting back on the previous days, and wow, it has been a tough week. The emotions, the intensity, the grumpiness, it's been overwhelming for a lot of people. I've been hearing from a lot of you that there's frustrations in your connections and how to move yourself forward. And yeah, it's been a really tough time. So I am really curious to know again, what is your vibe? Please let me know. It's always helpful to get the feedback from all of you. Now, we are on the brink of a full moon, and that full moon is in Cancer. It is conjunct Mars. That full moon will be on Monday, January 13th. Now, it's not too late to sign up for the full moon Zoom. It is happening tonight, which is Friday, January 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern. The cost is $22. You get a copy of the live Zoom. If you cannot attend, obviously, you get to watch it later, and you will get your own personalized mini moon reading that gets sent to you by the next new moon, which is the new moon in Aquarius. So, yeah, let's talk about some of these things. Mars in Cancer, so Mars in retrograde, not a good position. It's very tricky. The full moon coming up on Monday, and then we have the North Node shifting into Pisces on Saturday, which is 111. That's my number, Kelly Lorraine 111. So ones are about new beginnings. This North Node is shifting into Pisces, South Node in Virgo. So the mutable signs are definitely feeling this. Now, everybody's going to feel it, but especially the mutable signs. Pisces, absolutely. I mean, this is your time, massive shifts happening. So let's take a look at some overall themes and messages right now for this energy. And we have here quickly pick up the pace so you can catch the wave. Oh my goodness. What's interesting about this energy is that I don't think you have to do anything quickly, but I think that that is the feeling that we have. Okay, got to pick it up, got to make a move. And I always do tell you to make moves, but moves don't have to be made overnight, right? We can't change anything today, but we do have to take methodical steps. And something else to point out about the energy, and I don't know if you felt this too, isn't it crazy how time has just felt so odd ever since the holidays? I mean, I was saying this to somebody the other day. I mean, I know it's Friday now, but imagine for a moment that just over a week ago it was New Year's Eve. Doesn't it feel like forever ago? And if you celebrate Christmas, a week before that was Christmas. Like that's only been about 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a few days. And yet it feels like it's been forever. So there is this weirdness in the air in regards to time. And keep in mind that, okay, so today is January 10th. We're only 10 days into January. But January is a really tough month because we start off on a high with these intentions, or for some people, it's resolutions. And then all of a sudden, we start getting the January blues and the frustrations set in, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. And maybe we panic or we react. I don't know. But January really is a tough month. And so we've got to push through as best we possibly can. But I don't think you have to necessarily do anything quickly. When I see the rabbit, what I am hearing or feeling is that people are worried. Rabbits, when they're in fear, it's very high strung, right? So let's take a look. I feel like I almost want to take a few more cards, in the sense of I usually do three. I don't know, maybe I'll throw a fourth one in there. Let's take a look. Oh, twin flames. Yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion, the twin flame journey is really about a self-love journey. It's about a spiritual reawakening. The romance is really a byproduct of it all. So I don't discount the romantic part of this process. I've been through this. I know exactly how it feels. I would describe myself as on the other side, where you have this hindsight of what it means to go through this reawakening. We put so much emphasis on the romantic part of it. Remember that that's the bonus. That's the byproduct of learning to put yourself first and making boundaries and doing things that are difficult, even though you don't want to face them or you don't want to go through them. But going through them and facing them is actually what's going to bring you the rewards. So I digress. That's a whole other conversation. And I just want to point out that a lot of us are kind of struggling right now with going to the next level, whether that means individually or in the relationship. It's it's definitely an interesting time. Let's take another card here. Immerse yourself, training, learning, new hobbies and passions. Okay, there's my point. I always tell you to spark new energy and to put yourself out there, right? Whatever way that means. That doesn't have to mean a new relationship or moving on from somebody, but it means having something for yourself that brings new energy or sparks new energy. And, maybe that's the aspect here of like picking up the pace, like doing things for you. Remember, we're not here to chase anything in regards to a relationship. And so let's see, let's take another card. Ah, the lament. Interesting. I feel like I need to get the book for this one. There's something, I just have this feeling that there's something in the book that is going to be important to this reading. And it just so happens that I do have the book here. So bear with me just for a moment. Card number 36. So that's a number 9 in numerology. I don't know why I'm having trouble getting to the page. I feel like it's going to be written in this in this description. Oh, it's the last card. Interesting. It's the last card of the book. Okay, letting go. Go figure. Go figure. You have wailed, cried, mourned, and sat in your grief for so long, now it has become a lament, a sort of sorrowful song that may start to define who you are. A lament is not always about death, it can sometimes be about regret. You have a tendency to get caught up in a loop of memories, what ifs, and sorrowful woes, endlessly reliving things in your mind until it begins to wear on who you are becoming. Whether lamenting can be a healthy process, it is up to you to say when the process is over. Try not to let your lament evolve into who you are or define you as a person. There may be a way out if you find healthy outlets such as music, art, and writing. Little by little, make your way to the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so you cannot make this up because that's what the twin flame journey is all about, is letting go, right? This is telling you to immerse yourself. And we just talked about music and learning and art, new hobbies. Again, you don't have to do anything quickly, but you do need to understand that steps need to be taken. And it's hard. It's hard. I can't promise you that it's easy. Nobody should ever promise you that it's easy, you know? But this tells me something in the reading today. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to go. I don't know how long this reading will be. Bear with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the connection between you and your person. What's in your head space, your heart space, the overall energy, the underlying energy. And then we're going to go to the after tarot and see what's happening in the near future. What's going to come of this energy. So in your headspace, currently we have the Emperor, see, making moves. You need to make a move of some kind. Okay. And the Emperor is what making move with intentions, because the Emperor does not play around. Emperor energy is the King of Kings. It embodies all the kings in the deck. King of Pentacles, King of Wands, etc. Right? So let's see what else you need to know. The Ace of Cups, filling your own cup. Putting yourself first. This could also indicate a brand new emotional beginning. So this doesn't have to mean, by the way, that you're starting a new cycle without your person. This can be you guys doing this together. It really depends. I mean, look, two people always have to be on the same page. You have to have the same intentions, the desire to make something work, right? It's not about one person being on board and the other person, trailing behind. There's got to be some balance somewhere. Maybe not 50-50, but it's got to be close, you know? Nothing is perfectly balanced, right? In your person's headspace, well, this says blended pleasure. Interesting that that's, oh, and it's a Cancer card. How interesting. Sometimes it's hard to read the font on these cards, so please forgive me. You know, this is somebody who is over analyzing to the point of maybe missing out on an opportunity. You know, maybe wanting to be right about something or know all the details instead of processing. You know, you're wanting to make a move, you're wanting something new emotionally. And there is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, this is so interesting. The Hierophant is very slow, methodical steps, you know, very spiritual in nature. It's Taurus energy. It could very well be that your person is debating the commitment, because Hierophant is about commitment and higher learning, going to the next level. I think you're both in very similar thoughts, yet differently, if that makes sense. Maybe just going about it differently, which is common. You know, as a side note, I know this is a controversial book of the past, but I do find value in things that are controversial. I've been rereading Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I just have this desire to pick it up and have a look again. Now, obviously, we know that times have changed, and it was a controversial book of its past for many reasons. But it's amazing to read back and watch even old TED Talks of Dr. John Gray, and even the interviews he does currently about beyond Mars and Venus, how we've evolved. I mean, it's fascinating to see his perspective now, so many years later, right? And I just believe that one thing remains true, and that is people communicate differently. That's the bottom line. Everybody has a different perspective and communicates differently. And for relationships to be successful, we have to be willing to put our egos aside. We have to be willing to put our way aside for a moment and be able to listen and understand. And I think sometimes that's what we lack. We lack understanding or even empathy, you know, to really hear the person, you know, listen to what they're saying. I digress. Let's take a look at what's going on in your heart space. The Nine of Swords, there's worry, anxiety about what's to come, needing reassurance. Ten of Pentacles is saying you can have it all. It's there. The tangible evidence is there, but it's the worry about how do you get there? You know, how do you get there to a place of not worrying that the other shoe is going to drop? You know, and I think so many of us have been through relationships where we've been hurt. You know, there's so many traumas, triggers, and hurts. There's so many hurt people. And this is what the sad part about relationships is right now, is that hurt people hurt people. But we also have to be responsible for our own hurts, and we have to do better. We have to be better. When we get better, they get better. When we know what we're willing to accept and not willing to accept, it gets better. It really does. We don't accept the things that hurt us in the past. You know, we are responsible for that, those boundaries. Now, in your person's heart space, well, there's the Five of Wands, and this says strife. Yeah, there's conflict. There's conflict. Now, 5-5 means big changes ahead. And the Seven of Pentacles, interesting, this card says success unfulfilled. More Taurus energy as well. It means that the success isn't here yet. It will be. The Seven of Pentacles means the seed is planted. It's not going to harvest overnight. It will in due time, but it requires patience. But here's the thing again about relationships, and that is, in order to have peace, there needs to be clarity. If there's no clarity, there's no peace. You know, and so that's why I think we struggle in relationships, because sometimes we don't know how to have the clarity. Oh, I was about to shuffle and I don't want to do that. We don't have clarity without the peace, peace without the clarity. I lost my train of thought. Overall, we have here the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, see, interesting, there's that energy of the rabbit about moving quickly, where we do have to move forward. We don't have to move forward quickly, but we have to move forward. That's the whole point. We have to move past the hurts or the difficulties and find a way, whether that's together or not together, but there's got to be some movement and healing. The Four of Swords is about rest, rejuvenation, finding peace, right? Underlying energy is the Fool, trusting and taking a leap of faith. Again, how else do we get better unless we go through the motions, go through the emotions? And there's the Queen of Swords, making the boundaries. Again, what are you willing to accept and not willing to accept? What are the deal breakers? Okay, that being said, let's go to the After Tarot. This is a deck that has sort of the energies following the current vibes. Oh, there's a card that's popped over. And it's the Star card. Healing. Blessings, wishes coming true, falling in love. Beautiful. Okay, let's get into your headspace. The Nine of Cups, ask and you shall receive. And you can see that this card is showing a feast. How much do you want to feast? How much do you want to indulge? How much do you want to receive the things that you want, that you love? You've got to be willing to put yourself in a position to have it. And that means surrendering and letting go and moving forward, even when it's difficult. Swallowing your pride a little bit and working through the ego, even when it's difficult. And there's the Knight of Cups, drinking from the cup of love, opening your heart, being willing to embrace change and be vulnerable. It's very hard to be vulnerable. How many of you struggle with that? I would bet the majority. I don't want to say all, I would say the majority. We've lost feeling in ourselves. We've become so numb as a society that we don't know how to put our hearts out there because we're afraid of getting hurt. It's hard to have capacity when there's so much pain there, and things that get in the way. But we have to look at what really matters. This is the thing. And I don't know why I'm so reflective today about this topic, but life is short, and love is so important. It's the highest vibration. And we have to think about, again, we have to think about what is really important, what matters most. I mean, when we're looking at these wildfires in LA, and I'm so sorry to those who are affected. My heart goes out to everyone. It's so tragic and so sad. And I know this isn't on the same level, but I've seen my home destroyed. I didn't have fire, but I remember the feeling of walking into my home when I had this massive house flood. When I tell you, I saw things destroyed that I never thought I'd ever see destroyed. I mean, old pictures from my parents, my sister's baby book, from the 70s. It's very violating when your home is destroyed. It's hard not to take it personally. And when you have these moments of tragedy, you have to think about what's most important in life and the people around you. Possessions, yeah, it hurts when you lose them. But what it hurts even more is when you lose the people you love, especially over silly things. Life is short and we have to live, and we've got to make the most of it. And we can't let stupid, silly things get in our way. And unfortunately, we do that a lot. And so, yeah, seeing these wildfires have really affected me and made me reflect on things that, again, I didn't think I'd be reflecting on. It's been a tough week for many. It's interesting. These two cards just kind of popped out together, and we got the Page of Pentacles, which is studying and learning. The most important thing is that we learn from our past experiences. And there's a recognition and an offer here, possibly. So maybe after thinking and working some things through, there's a possible offer. And we talked about the 10 of Pentacles over here. 1010 could be an angel number that you're seeing. And here we're actually opening the treasure chest. The possibilities are endless here for success. Remember, we talked about unfulfilled success? There's the success. The question is, are we willing to work through all the stuff to get there? To stop overanalyzing and holding ourselves back out of fear and hurt and stubbornness, really. And in your heart space, there's the strength card, trying to find the strength and the courage to push forward and to do better and to have better. Anything is possible. And there's the world, letting go, completion of a cycle, moving to the next level to have better. You know, remember, ask for what you want or better. When you get the better, it's unbelievable. And I can attest to that. I've been through it. I've felt that better. But remember that it can only keep getting better, regardless of whatever happens. It's going to get better every time. I truly believe that. And in your person's heart space, there's the King of Swords. This is about being logical and decisive. There might be a bit of coolness and attachment there, but at the same time, there's a decisiveness. And there's the Magician, communication, having all the tools. By the way, look how prominent this sword looks right here. You know, like there's the sword, obviously, King of Swords, and there's the Magician has all the tools, right? The pentacle, the wand, the cup, the sword. But when I looked at this card right away, I saw a decision. And Magician is communication. It's Virgo, it's Gemini energy. You know, it's saying, what do I want to do with this information or this energy? Right? Now, overall, we've got the Two of Cups, this embrace. Look at this little kitty cat at the bottom here. There's love, there's an embrace. And the King of Cups. Knight of Cups to the King of Cups. How beautiful. King of Cups is about being in tune with the emotions. And underlying energy is the Wheel of Fortune. There's growth, there's expansion, and there's good luck. There's a shift here if people want it. And you know, the Seven of Cups, yes, it can be a bit of dreams and illusions, you know, even decision making in the regular energies. In the after tarot, you can see that the cup has been chosen and there's the treasure. You know, when I see the snake, I think of shedding skin. I think of the end is the beginning is the end, where we've been maybe in some illusions for a while, but now we're waking up and we're ready to embark on something new. Now, I mentioned 1010 earlier. There's another 10. You know, tens are new beginnings and endings. Like I said, the end is the beginning is the end. So let's take some last cards here for guidance. I just want to point out to all of you that a 2025 love forecast is available, where I go through every month of the year and I give a tarot card for each person. So not only an overall energy with an oracle card, but you know, one card for each person every month to see what the vibe is of the coming year. It's $25. It's on my website, and I think it gives a really nice snapshot of the year and maybe some things to work on month by month. It gives you a bit of a guide, you know. So let's take some Moonology cards here just to kind of see what some last messages are before we finish up. And we have meditate and contemplate. You know, it's interesting. I think that you have a lot to think about. What is it that you want? In your person's headspace side here, we've got look at the bigger picture. They need to look at the bigger picture. They need to think objectively versus subjectively. And I'm going to take this Moonology deck for the heart space. Strength again. You're trying to find your strength. It's like the universe said, I said what I said. And in your person's heart space, it says meant to be. I mean, I don't want to be all cheesy and say if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, but all of this is meant to be. And sometimes that can be scary, right? So let's take one last card here for inner child wounds that could be coming through. It's time to celebrate. Cultivate an air of celebration today. Let's celebrate the good things. I know there's a lot of negative and a lot of sad things happening. At the same time, try to find a way to cultivate a positive vibe. With light, there is dark. With dark, there is light. Please don't forget that. I'm sending you so much love and positive vibes. To those of you coming to the full moon Zoom tonight, I'm super excited to talk about all of these energies. If not, that's okay. I will see you all next time.